Today we're going back to Genesis Apologetics, but we are not going back to that dodo geologist who actually thinks he's a geologist, but anyway, I'm not getting into that. We're going to a K through 8 program they have. Let's go. But I do have to say, and I should have said this before, I'm sorry about that. I find it disgusting that these people are targeting kids. But then, of course, they have to target kids, because they can't get thinking adults to buy into their bullshit. And while you're thinking about it, if you're new, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button? And if you've already subscribed to me, make sure you're still subscribed because for some reason YouTube loves to unsubscribe people. Also, if you're new here, I'd like to thank you very much for giving me a chance. And for my fans and subscribers, thank you so much for coming back. You are the lifeblood of this channel. And now, with that, let's get on with the video.
What is this? Looks like some sort of ape man. Your daddy, right? You're not my dad.
Hey Dave, cowabunga dude. I noticed that you didn't introduce yourself for some reason. Well, I noticed that it is on the slide behind you. And people sometimes don't introduce themselves when their name is on the slide for some reason. So let me do it for you. I do realize, however, that you introduced yourself in the first video. Way to go, by the way. I had to go all the way over the fucking internet trying to search for that thing to try to figure out where the hell you introduce yourself in that series. However, I still don't know anything about you. I think you're like the vice president of Genesis Apologetics. I think I read that somewhere, but I can't find that anywhere on the Genesis Apologetics website, nor can I find your education anywhere. Now, I know these lessons are made for kids, but you might want to think about trying to impress the parents with your education first. In other words, why the fuck should we listen to you, Dave? At least Biddle has a PhD. I mean, yeah, he's sold out to the young earther crowd, but the young earthers, they're trying to look a little bit more legitimate than they really are, which is to say they're not legitimate. But I don't see you as having any education. Okay, so despite you asking that ape question sarcastically and snarkily, I am going to answer it for you because apparently you don't know the answer and you need one. So let's talk about it. This is an artist's rendition of a Neanderthal. Now, I know what you mean by quote unquote ape men because I used to be a young earther, but there's really no such thing as an ape man. You see, Dave, saying ape man is a lot like saying bird duck. It doesn't make any sense because men are apes. We are a subset of apes. So get over it. And you are 100% absolutely right, Dave. Wow, I cannot believe I am saying that. He is not your daddy. You know why? Because that is a great ape of today. We are not descended from great apes of today. I know this is hard for you to understand. It was hard for me to understand as a young earther, but that was because I paid attention to fucking idiots like you. So pay attention. The theory of evolution does not state that humans are descended from the other great apes of today. The theory of evolution states we have a common ancestor with the great apes of today, which is why humans are classified as great apes, whether you like it or not. So, in a nutshell, no, that is not your daddy. He is your cousin. So, thank you very much for displaying to everyone in just this one clip how evidently stupid you are or dishonest you are. And quite frankly, I don't really care which one it is because you don't need to be teaching this.
Now I think we're ready. Hello and welcome to The Zone. I'm your host, Big Wave Dave. So today we're going to talk about ape men. Were they real or just pretend? Okay, let's start with what the Bible says. The Bible tells us that in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And he did all of that in just 6 days.
Are you fucking kidding me?
You have got to be kidding me using that kind of language. Ape men? Really? Saying ape man makes about as much sense as bird duck. In other words, it doesn't make sense. Because whether you want to believe it or not, Big Wave Dave, men are a subset of apes. Just like ducks are a subset of birds. And when you describe an ape, you describe men. There's a reason for that, Dave. And that is that we descended from the same ancestor as the extant great apes. That's the reason. Now, granted, humans have more characteristics than just apes, but still. No, 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 no. First, you have to tell us why we should give a shit what your fucking book says. Why don't you tell us first what the science has to say? And then, if you really want to, you can tell us what your fucking book says. Not that I would give much credence to what your book says anyway, but at least you would hold my attention for a few more minutes until my mind starts wandering. You know, I always find it so hilarious how creationists get the theory of evolution so very wrong. And, I don't know whether it's on purpose or not. Now, in way of regular younger creationists, the ones that fill the pews every Sunday, probably I know I didn't know anything about the theory of evolution until I actually learned about it, but you certainly know. And if you truly do not know that you are teaching falsehoods about the theory of evolution, then you shouldn't be teaching it now, should you? But I think you do know that you are teaching falsehoods because you're an apologist. Okay, so let's talk about this. You say he did it all in 6 days because that's what the Bible says, and you think the Bible's 100% correct for some reason. But I asked a rabbi about this. Did you know that the original word for day in the Hebrew Bible is yom? And more importantly, to the point, yom does not mean a 24-hour period. Yom just means a period of time.
Now, on the sixth day, God created the first humans, Adam and Eve. But you know, some people don't believe that. Some people believe that humans evolved from ape-like creatures over millions of years. So which one is true? I mean, after all, if evolution is true, then your great-great-great-grandpa was a monkey. But don't worry, Grandpa's not a monkey.
Well, he's fairly intelligent. He's full of shit.
Gee, I wonder why most people don't believe that, Davy Wavy. In fact, did you know that most Christians don't even believe that? Most Christians believe Adam and Eve are like figureheads. You know, they weren't real people. Gee, I wonder why. Could it be that believing that is just plain stupid? Because if you believe the Bible literally, then you have to believe there were only two people in the beginning. Now, I'm not going to go over this very much because I've already gone over it in one of my other videos, maybe even two videos. But anyway, you see this creature? Beautiful creature, but very, very inbred. And you know why? Because they are very few in the wild. And when I say few, I mean about 7,000 in Africa and a few hundred in Iran. That is a lot more than two, and these beautiful creatures are inbred. And unless we can do something to boost their numbers, they're going to die out. Now, you tell me, if these beautiful creatures are vulnerable at around 8,000 individuals, why would you think that a bottleneck of two would be survivable? And don't give me that shit about, oh, Adam and Eve were made perfect and they had all these different kinds of, mutations built up, and that's why we didn't go extinct. I want you to take a minute and rehearse that sorry ass excuse in your brain. Does that make any sense? The cheetah is dying out at about 7,500 to 8,000 individuals, and you think two people were enough to populate the whole goddamn world without us dying out long before now? What the fuck have you people been smoking?
Now, the first type of science is called observational science. So this is the type of science where we do experiments. You ever do experiments at home or in your class? It's kind of fun, right? So we come up with ideas and then we test them to see if our ideas are correct. So observational science is responsible for things like airplanes and cars and phones and medicine and all kinds of technology. But there is another type of The second type is called historical science. Now, in this type of science, what happens is that people dig up fossils like this one, and then they come up with ideas. But here's the thing. There's no way to test those ideas to see if they're correct.
Big Wave Dave, there is no difference between observational science and historical science. Take looking at the night sky, okay? You are looking at the night sky in the past. You see, this is due to a little thing called the speed of light. And you probably don't know what the speed of light is, but but light does have a speed, and nothing can go faster than the speed of light, and we probably never will be able to get anything beyond the speed of light. And Big Wave Dave, I know you don't like looking things up, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you what the speed of light is. The speed of light is 186,000 miles per second. You're welcome.
And there's something else to think about. Your worldview, what you think about God and the Bible and things like that, have a big impact on how you interpret these fossils. For example, some people can look at the exact same bones and come up with two completely different ideas about what that animal was.
No. Oh my fucking God, no. How many times do we people have to tell you that the theory of evolution is not a world view? Creationism is. And in order to believe creationism, you have to deny every single thing science says. Take a look at this reconstructed skull, for example. This is a reconstructed skull of Australopithecus afarensis. And you tell me, does it look like a quote unquote ape skull, or does it look like a quote unquote human skull, or does it look like something different? Not that it really matters, because, like I've explained in other videos, it doesn't really matter what it looks like to you, it matters what it is. And you people really don't get it, do you? Or maybe you just don't want to get it. Because after all, if your sheep will ever wake up to the fact that you have been lying through your teeth to them, then your gravy train comes to an end and you'll have to get a real job. Boo hoo. By the way, the fact that the theory of evolution is true doesn't really threaten your religion. It just threatens creationism. Um, because guess what? There are Christians who accept the theory of evolution as true. And there are Christians who accept the Big Bang as true. So these are not mutually exclusive groups. It just threatens you. Well, friends, I'm going to leave it there for today. I know I didn't get too much into his crazy conspiracy nonsense shit, and that's because he was so fucking wrong that I had to spend most of my time correcting his dumbass. So if you will please like this, leave a like and a comment for the algorithm. By the way, I love your comments. I do read them all, and I appreciate each and every one of your comments. And, I learn from your comments too. I'm not above having to learn. And I think that above all else is why living is worthwhile. Because if you know everything, why should you live? I mean, it makes no goddamn sense, right? You know? So live and learn, right? Live and learn. Also, if you are financially able, please become a member of this channel. You can become a member for as little as 99 cents a month. You get um, to have custom emojis in live chats, and you also get debunks at least one day early, usually 2 days early. You can also PayPal me, link in the description. If you can only do a one-time donation, I appreciate everything you do for me and everything that you call me out on when I make mistakes, because it's the only way we learn, people. It's the only way we learn is to know that we can make mistakes. And so, thank you very much. And thank you for being willing to teach my dumbass. Thank you. Bye.